Beachfront DLC has dropped and it's inspired me to create a waterfront community on this pristine lake. But plot twist, I'm not actually going to use any of the new beachfront properties. Stay tuned and I'll tell you why. In this episode, I'll teach you some new terraforming tricks that I discovered, and I'll use some brilliant techniques I learned from Sully's amazing detailing video, which I'll link in the comments. I'll show you how I've been using Devmode, and we'll lay out the skeleton of the road network we'll use to create a massive new farming area up here. Let's go! Hey everybody, welcome to Gaming with Vindicator, and today we're actually taking a break from building this city of Lillehammer, and we're going to focus on creating a brand new beachfront lakeside community. And that will happen right up over here on this new lake that we've created right at the foot of these mountains in this beautiful pristine forest, and we'll turn it into a luxury cottage community. But the first thing I want to do is completely change the look of this map. I do like the default textures, but we have new and shiny ones, so let's use them. I've installed a couple of new PDX mods, and the first is the Map Texture Replacer by Game World. You can access that here, and you see that we have the default texture pack installed. We're just gonna switch that over to Home of Chameleon. I like that one the best. I've tried all of these. You can download more from the App Store, but this one definitely suits our Nordic themed that we're going for. So yeah, there you go. I think when we zoom in here, the cliff sides look a little better. The banks of the water looks a little better. I think the water itself looks a little better if I'm not imagining it. But overall, yeah, this is really just adding a little bit of something to our entire map. And you know, we're probably seeing a bit of grass change, not too much. I suppose it's a little bit subtle, but hey, we're rolling with it because it's better, new and improved. And moving on, last episode I promised to smooth out some of these wonky cliffside textures that I created when I put in these streams and these rivers, so let's just fix that real quick. You also notice that I've installed the Anarchy mod, which is really helpful for going outside of the boundaries that you own if you want to terraform. I don't plan to use Anarchy heavily, but I do think it has its purposes and its usefulness in certain situations like this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to remember to turn off Anarchy lest I do something unwanted. And I think that looks a lot better. All I did was simply smooth out some of the jagged edges I made, being very careful not to go too crazy. I don't want to break any of these riverbanks and then have water spilling over the sides. That's one of my worst nightmares. And I'm just going to keep a close eye on it to make sure no water is spilling over anything I just smoothed out. All right, so now here's the terraforming trick or technique that I promised you. I don't love how these rivers get very shallow in some places, and it looks like the water's just running over grass, which essentially it is right now. So we've got to deepen these riverbeds just a little touch, and rather than kind of go and start over and use a technique that I used last episode, I'm going to do a little bit more of a finer brush, and I'm going to use the Shift Terrain tool actually. I'm going to take the brush size all the way down to 10, and the strength, we're going to go way small, like maybe let's say 30%, I think should be fine. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to start up near the top, and I don't want to lower this part because this is the height that is keeping this lake in check. If I kind of punch a hole in this and let it flow, this lake's going to drain out. So yeah, don't want that. And then I'm going to switch from the default brush to something a little more jagged and interesting. I do like the mountain brushes. They just give you a little bit less of a circle and more of a kind of jagged effect. So if we're just going to go in here and try to stick to the center of the riverbed, and let's see how deep that actually went. Did we do a good thing? Yeah, it's not looking too bad. It's giving us a little bit more, I don't know what you call that, a little more randomness, a little more, it's less uniform, it's a little more, I suppose, realistic. And you see, once we get to a certain depth, we're getting that nice deeper blue, which I think we want, because that looks a lot better from the air. Now, I don't want to go too deep. I certainly don't want to punch a hole in this, but we're just going to kind of very gently finesse it all the way along. We're going to do this for all of the 5 new streams and rivers that we created. I think that's a significant improvement. I think we can see that the water has darkened up. We've got a little bit less of a smooth bottom in these riverbeds, a little more jaggedness with the mountain brush, and a little less of this happening, which is the water sitting at like 1 meter on top of the grass. So it's good, it's improved. Is it perfect? No, but we're actually gonna do a little bit more detailing to make it look even better than this. Let me get the other 4 rivers done with this technique, and hopefully you'll try this as well. Works for me. I think that looks very much improved, and I think the way to go here is it's low and slow, just like cooking ribs. You don't want to burn those bad boys. You want to go low heat, low intensity, and we're doing the same thing here. Low brush size, low brush strengths, and we're taking our time with it. And I'm gonna put Anarchy on again, just so I can get up into some of these mountains. This is something that's bugged me from the last episode, because this water's just kind of sitting on top of this without looking like an actual riverbed. And I wonder if actually making these deeper will narrow them up, because they're really too wide at this point. I see we're getting into winter here. I might very quickly, actually that might be the clouds. I've turned on the clouds just for a little change of scenery, so let me know what you think about that. You know, while we're at this lowering terrain stuff, I don't love that this is a flat bottom lake. I know you can't really see it when the contour lines are off, but it is a little too artificial for me. So we're gonna take this up to 100, let's say, and we're just gonna hit it all over with this deepening brush and see if that looks any better. Yeah, again, I don't think we're gonna see any kind of difference from the air, but hey, I'll know that it's better, and that's all that matters, right? And because I'm getting such crazy shadows, we're gonna come in here and just adjust the time of day. I think we'll make it like a 1 p.m. type of thing. That's my standard go-to. Much better, now I can see. Well, I'm actually very impressed with how that technique works. It definitely looks way better from up high, because we see the water is deeper and it's bluer and it's got, you know, a little bit of a different texture on the banks. But when we come in really close too, that looks phenomenal as well. You know, it might be a little unrealistically deep for real life, but I really like the way it's working in the game. And I may have gone a little bit overboard doing this technique way up in the hills up here. Yeah, but you know, no one will ever see it again, but at least we'll know that we did it right. And it feels good. It feels good to get an improvement here, and to learn something new every episode. And just, you know, if you're improving 1%, that's very satisfying. Every episode 1%, and by the end of you know, a couple episodes, you're doing pretty well. So let's keep jazzing up these rivers and these streams. And here's where we're gonna use Devmode. And the way you access that is, well, first of all, you've got to go into your Steam settings. You've got to use the developer mode command when you're running it. And then once you get into the game and you've loaded it for the first time with that prompt there, you can hit the home key on your keyboard, and you're gonna get this add object. You also get the tab key. I haven't played much with this stuff. This changes a lot of the sort of under the hood stuff, like you can do the climate, how fast the game moves. I don't know, I haven't really explored it that much, but we're gonna focus over here, which is more the objects, aka the assets or props. So what I'm looking for, and thankfully there's a search feature, is, you know what, actually let's start with rocks. Let's do rocks first. And when you type in rock, you're gonna see you've got a whole smorgasbord, 30 different types of rocks. Wow. We're gonna use the rock random, because as far as I can tell, every time you put down a new one, it changes. It randomly selects between all of these variants. So you also notice that it's popped up this little paintbrush menu over here. So we're gonna go to place multiple, because I don't know about you, I don't wanna do one rock at a time. We're gonna make sure Anarchy's on. And the reason for that is because we want these rocks to be able to be placed in the water. Let's think about the brush size. I'm thinking for rocks, we might, I don't think I want 100%. We don't want to go overboard. 50 is maybe okay. Let's start it conservatively, somewhere around 25. And as far as brush size, I think think 200 is the right amount, because I want rocks to be sprinkled inside the water and also up on the riverbank. So let's see how that goes. We'll do the same thing up and down the rivers. Let's just, is this working? I think it's working. Yeah, we've got some rocks sprinkling in here. So let's just go up and down this one segment of the river here and see how that actually turns out. I'm holding down the left mouse button, and now let's zoom in and take a peek. Did we get many rocks? Not really. So we're gonna go harder on the brush strength, which means we want, oh, by the way, do not click this X here, because once you do, you won't be able to open this menu up with the home key until you load the game again. So close it with the home key, open it with the home key. The more you know. All right, brush strength, 50%, let's say. Let's see how that works. And let's come at an untouched section and see if that's strong enough for my taste. How do we do there? 50%, I'm still not seeing a whole lot of rocks. Let's go harder. Let's go crazy and let's do 100%. How did we do at 100? Whoa, that's like wild, man. But not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, I don't think it's too crazy. Yeah. Okay, that was about 50. This is about 100. So let's just do it. Let's go for it. Okay, how do we do? Yeah, that looks pretty good. I could definitely see this being realistic, sort of rock-esque. I know it kind of looks like nothing yet. We haven't brought all of our tools to bear here, so it's one part of a process, right? So give me a break. We're doing this in phases, but I think this is the right amount of rocks. Okay, so next thing, let's move on to boulders, and we're just gonna do same deal. Type in boulder up top here. What happened? Didn't work. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Boulder. Thank you. Random, again, we got 8 variants. Random is fine. I don't want to load up. Do not want to load this up with boulders. So we're going to take the brush strength way down. I think probably like, we'll start at 25. Low and slow, folks, low and slow. Again, we've got anarchy on because we want those boulders to fill inside the water, not just on the banks. If we wanted just banks, turn anarchy off. How'd that do? Let's see. Yeah, that might be a little much for my taste, but it's not too crazy. Okay, we'll roll with it, and we'll just go at a pretty quick clip, and we won't get saturated here. Let's do it. How do we like? Yep, I can live with that. Yeah, maybe I go down 5%, but screw it. Yes. All right, we've got our rocks, we've got our boulders. Now, what else grows by a river? Maybe trees. Let's do some trees. And you know what? Let's not leave out the bushes. We don't want them to feel left out. So, I gotta do back to my brush, and then I'm holding control to click these. And I said the last 5, so there we go. And then we want to add all the trees that we like as well. Now to save a custom set, I'm pretty sure what I want to do is control and then click it. I hope, yeah, okay, now, great. Did that work? Yes, okay, so custom set 2 is now the one I want. Now, turning anarchy off, because we don't want trees in the water. That would be ridiculous. And brush size, way down. Funny enough, when you do use a brush and it looks like this tiny little purple circle, you're firing trees and bushes all over, way outside of that purple circle. So I'm actually gonna take the strength up by 100% because I don't wanna waste my time. I don't wanna go slow, but brush size is small because, why? Because I don't want them to go too wide. So let's just see how it goes. How do we like that? That is looking like a proper river. Now they're not quite getting close as I'd like to the waterfront, but we take what we can get. If we turn anarchy on, we're gonna get trees in the water, so never mind that. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking like what I want. Now, why did I only go in a narrow band along the river? Well, this whole area, this is prime farmland. We're putting farms in here, so no point in firing a bunch of trees in. I only want the trees near the edge of the water, so we're gonna do the same technique with boulders, rocks, and trees, all for all of these 5 rivers, aka streams, and I'll just speed through that and cut to the chase here. Amazing. I love that. That is so much better than what we had before with just, you know, basic blue on green. And now we have a little variety, a little bit of rock and stone and trees. Obviously, it's going to look really sick when we have all the farms abutting up to these rivers. And I don't know. I just think it's really turning out. It does take some time. You know, I think I probably just spent about 20 or 30 minutes doing all 5 of these rivers, and my hand kind of hurts. And of course, you know, that's the definition of a first world problem, but you know, I do enjoy this. I love it. And wow, it's looking so much better because we took the time to get into dev mode and use some props, some assets. I would encourage you to do the same. You know, I was honestly a little bit afraid of dev mode. I've never been a huge modder. I've never really been into assets. But it does make it worthwhile. You don't have to get super crazy with this. You don't have to spend like, you know, a whole 5 hours on one square block of your city. But, you know, just doing something like this really kind of jazzes up the whole region. It's a huge improvement over what we had. So great, loving it. Let's move on. Okay, that's looking pretty great. So the next thing I want to do is work on our regional highway that will run through this area, which will be the backbone of our new farming area. And basically what I want to do is break up this connection here, fire a road all the way across this river, this one, and then kind of a little bit follow the coast here, cross again over here somewhere in here, and we're gonna punch that out somewhere at the edge of the map, probably around here, which means we need to buy a few tiles. And I think we're gonna start with the bridges. So let's get the bridges in and then we'll connect the 2-lane highway. Here we go. So we have a couple problems, one of which is this is not high enough to become a bridge segment, and the second one is our transmission lines are in the way. So I think we're just gonna take them all out all the way to the edge of the map because we're gonna run those along the road that we create. So we're just gonna keep this pause while we do this and take them out. Now I'm gonna preemptively make a connection across the river here because I think we're gonna be needing that connection. It's gonna be one of the ways to get into the city or into the industrial area without going all the way around and connecting over here. So let's put in a bridge and let's rethink this neighborhood just a little bit. All right, now we have our new connection to, what is it called? Alford. Okay, kind of boring, but we'll take it. And we've got a bit of cleanup work to do, but I think basically our road is connected, our major highway here, or I guess I would call it a secondary highway. And we've got this, I decided to put in a bit of a fancier bridge here because it is a longer span, a higher span. And we're gonna do now maybe a little bit more of the backbone and the secondary road coming off of this junction again. And kind of, I guess maybe skirting the forest, the edge of the forest here, and that'll be a road running parallel to the highway here. So let's get that in, let's get some cleanup done. Okay, that's great, and we've got our high voltage transmission lines connected again. I think we can run this. We should start to see the power flowing back as usual out of town. We'll speed it up and make sure. Yeah, there it goes. We are good. Okay, so the next step, I want to get another series of roads in here. Let's draw those out. And you know, before I do that, I want to get to the sort of the main event of this episode, which is we're going to put in a lakeside community over here, a resort type of cottage town, and we're gonna do that with just some basic roads here. This is not going to be a very extensive place. It's more like a quiet, sleepy cottage country. And here's my plan. So obviously people are gonna wanna live on this lake. It's absolutely stunningly gorgeous, and they're gonna wanna have their houses facing the water. So let us decide where we're gonna draw out these roads. Okay, so I can't keep going straight because that is getting way too steep. So we're probably gonna have to switch back a little bit and come at this at a different angle. Let's find that angle. I wanna keep all my roads at or below 8% grade. So that'll work, and then we'll kind of come at it. Oh, I don't know, we'll cross somewhere on the river here. Whoops, made a mistake there of cutting into the hillside a little too much, and I think the water is going to flow out, so better be careful. Okay, you can see it taking shape a little bit. You know, there was a lot of switchback work there, but I kind of love it. And in fact, I want to keep going, and I want to put in some of the other north-south, we'll call them, roads on this side of the map so that we're ready to put in our farms in the next episode. Ooh, I really like this kind of windy canyon-esque road here, but this would definitely need some guardrails. So let's put in our key walls, and we'll make that look like a wow. It's really hard to see anything, isn't it? I'm not sure why we're on fire. That's really odd. Yeah, we'll need some guardrails. Let's do that. Pretty cool road. I like that a lot. Okay, let's get in a couple more. All right, there is our road network, and I think we'll leave it there for this episode. That is what we'll call the skeleton of this area. There will be some smaller, probably dirt roads in here somewhere. Probably as I go and put in farms and things, we'll adjust with some maybe bigger roads as well. But we kind of have the basic shape of our town forming up, although I do want to put in some kind of commercial zone, and I definitely do not want that to be on the waterfront. So we're going to reserve all of those spaces for people who have houses, but I think we're going to do some kind of commercial district like back here, and so we'll start that around here. Yeah, so this will be our main commercial street, and the rest will all be residential. And you know what? We kind of should take advantage of all of this lake. So let's put in one more road on this side of the bridge. Now we do have some topography to contend with, and so I don't want to go too close, and I want to leave some space for some beachfront. So why don't we just put the road going as far as this? And why not we end this off with a roundabout, a little turnaround, a little cul-de-sac bulb, and that's more space for houses. All right, let's see about what do we do next. Let's get some housing in here. And actually I want to start with a small park, because I don't want this beach to be only accessible by people that own the beachfront properties. And so let's get in a park at the end of this commercial street here. Is that big enough? Probably. I don't think we need to overdo it. This is a very small community, but at least what this will do is give the public, or maybe tourists, access to the beach. We can let them access it through this way. So now we can give the people their houses. And again, I'm not going to use the waterfront housing because, well, I'll show you why. So I'm gonna just zone a few properties. We're gonna use the marquee tool, and we'll put maybe 2 at the end here, 3. And we'll let those zone in. We'll unpause it. I think we're okay to do that. And the rest is going to be, let's do, EU low density. And we're just gonna go very, again, deliberately I think we can go deep lots because these are wealthy people, so why not? Some of them like this, we can't go that deep, so we'll just back them off a bit. But for the most part, I think they're gonna be 3 by whatevers or 2 by whatevers. I wanna leave one space in between, so maybe a couple 2s here. And yeah, I definitely wanna leave a little bit more space, so we're gonna go and be gentle with these. And here we're going to use one of our very handy tools, which is missing. Where did my one of my mods is missing. I was going to control the road zoning, but it looks like it's gone. What's going on here? Did I have my mods? Yes, most of them. Okay, well, I can't show that to you. Okay, that's really weird. So I had a zoning tool to sort of block zoning on certain roads, but it seems to be finicky sometimes, but that's okay. We have our backups, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna do it old school. We're gonna take the path, and we're gonna block the zoning on this road so that it pops up on this road. I don't want it popping up on the other side. Turning off all snaps with my T key, which I bound. And there we go, we block it and it shows up on the correct street, the one we want. Beautiful. Oh, we are getting sewer and water problems, so clearly that's not connected. Let's find out where it's not jiving. I guess we kind of dead-ended at this highway here, which is strange, but okay, yeah, cool, let's fix that. That's really strange because it seemed to me like it was connected via this road. Oh, this bridge doesn't. I find it funny that bridges don't transfer water. That's really odd to me. And I also find it strange that it's still giving me a oh, it's paused. So let me just unpause it and see what happens. Top speed. Let's see. Okay, perfect. We're already seeing high rent signs. That is a function of the game still being relatively odd when it comes to land values, but we're not going to worry about it. We're going to keep zoning. And you know, while we're getting crazy, I'm seeing we can just plop another park at the other end of this area here. And I wonder, maybe it's not a park, maybe it's a dog park. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Give them a little bit of a different park here. It might be a little too close to that house, so we're gonna move it. When in doubt, place it by yourself. Okay, back to our zoning here. All right, I think we're gonna put some commercial down, and in this case, I'm, I want to plop them down. I want to pick the buildings that are going to spawn here because I don't want gas stations and kind of clunky looking, bars popping up here. But let's do this deliberately. And I know earlier in the episode I was using Devmode, but I've since discovered this, the Find It tool. And so this is fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for EU style, and I think we want residential. And is that going to come up? Yeah. And we want 3 by 4s, I would say. 4 deep. Let's see what that brings up. Here we go. And we want it to be low density, so we're going to type in low. And this is a fantastic mod that was just updated recently. Sully has a really fantastic video on how it works and the work that he actually put into it. There was a lot of work done. It looks amazing, so very, very excited. And no, sorry, it wasn't residential we want, so I'm going to take that out and switch to commercial. All right, so we have 5 3x4 buildings. Let's see how these look. And I'm going to start at this end. Snap 2. That looks like kind of a weird modern print shop. Doesn't fit this community. Same exact thing. It's kind of similar. Terrible. Wow, these are all not exactly what I want. Not at all what I want. So let's see, can I find a different style? Yeah, all these are looking too modern, so we're just gonna keep going until we find something. Okay, now we're getting a little closer. That looks a little bit like it could live in a modern community. I'm also seeing, ooh, we're running right into the hill. That's not good. So I might need to flatten this out a little bit. There's something looking a little bit more like what I'm hoping for. So let's plop a couple in there. That'll fit right there. We're gonna kind of have to pepper them in because I don't think we're gonna have quite as many as I would hope for. Let's switch over to North American and see if we have anything that's a little more suitable. So we'll type NA for North American, commercial. I think let's start with 3x4 because I'm feeling that. That's about the right size. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, cool. Now we're getting somewhere. And I love that these are changing the roof color so they kind of look like they're not the same building, but this is good. Okay, getting better. I think we've got what looks like a reasonably sort of holiday vacation-esque type of main drag. And all these buildings look like they kind of belong. I mean, hey, we're dealing with the assets we have, right? So we're making it work, and I don't mind that at all. And I think that's probably way more than enough commercial. Now, I'm not a plop the globals guy. I don't ever do this. So I think I need to put zoning underneath this. You can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna play it safe and make sure these buildings don't kind of die. Better safe than sorry, right? Let's get some more residential in the blank spaces here. Okay, it's taking shape. The buildings are slowly forming up. And let's bounce over here. You remember I zoned just 3 beachfront pack asset properties, right? And let's take a look at the front of their yards. Now, to me, enough has been said about this expansion pack, but why would you do this? Why would you block your view with a ginormous concrete fence? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense to me. It's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm lying. It's not perfectly fine from the front. These also have concrete fences for the most part. But, and look, in fairness, some of the EU assets, they do also have fences, which, can't unfortunately delete them. I was hoping the better bulldozer would do it. This one, okay, now you've got a deck overlooking the water. That's legit. I think most of these beachfront properties, now I'm being made a liar. This one has a hedge. Sorry, these are the EU properties. This one has a row of trees. But it's better, right? At least with these, some of them you can see into the water. It's still not great, but hey, we do what we can. At least these guys are smart. They only put 3 little bushes, so that's not gonna block their view. That would be a sick view. All right. Anyway, that's why we're not using the beachfront properties. We're gonna leave those just for historical sake. But I gotta say, it's an interesting decision to make all of those beachfront properties have walls around them. Wouldn't you want to see the beach? I don't know. Call me crazy. What's next? The next thing I want to do before the whole town goes up in flames is give them a little bit of fire protection. And I don't think a community of this size would warrant a firehouse, so we're going to do a fire tower. And I'm not sure that I actually have that unlocked, so we're going to check. Yeah, so we're going to take fire watchtower, and we're also going to get the fire helicopter depot, because what's the point of having all these watchtowers if you don't have the fire helicopters to go put out fires, right? So we're gonna put one of those in now as well. Now let's think about where it might make sense to put this first tower. How about on a hill? Right, good plan. I'm a genius. So this is the highest point in the town. It's going to give us this purple ring around. It's going to show us that, hey, it's going to protect the whole town and the surrounding forest, much of it. So we'll plop that right at the top there. I don't know which side is the side that needs a road, so what we're going to do is just temporarily go over to a road section. All right, now it's aligned. There on the left is my road, which I'll know. And we'll drop that at the top here. And let's get a road in there. That's a bit more than an 8%. No, well, now it's 9. Okay, 8.3 I can live with, so we'll do that. A nice smooth road up to our fire watchtower. It's not complaining anymore. And what else? Oh yeah, we wanted to get in our fire helicopter depot. Now where to put this? Okay, here's our city. And I'd like for the helicopters to cover most of the downtown. Now, of course, you know, with the urbanization here, we've got fire trucks able to go most places. So really, these helicopters should be serving places that are not going to be covered by fire stations, right? So, okay, what is that going to be? Well, it leaves us kind of to the hinterlands. And I know that next episode, I've already planned this out. I want to turn this whole swath into farmland. I don't want those farms to burn down, so it probably makes sense to put in a fire depot somewhere around here, but I don't know what this is going to look like. I think it might be a little too far. I could put it down in around here, but then we've got this big hill to fly over, which I don't think is good for helicopters. So what if we compromise and put it somewhere between the city and this farmland? And I think this already is kind of a little bit of a campus, so perhaps we stick it in here. Although I might have to move some of my power lines, which I'm not sad to do at all. Yes, I think that's the key. Let's do it. And come to think of it, we probably don't want power lines where helicopters are taking off, so we will rethink this one more time. Yeah, cool. Let's see, are there any upgrades for this one? It looks like no. And it looks like we're paused. So let's unpause this and get the employees hired. And now I feel a lot more comfortable that this area is not going to burn down, which, don't tell anybody, it did in the last, in my test build. I'm also seeing, ooh, we've really got some terraforming to do. Let's fix this up quickly. Better. Much better. Well, I've been dying to get this beach in here, so that is definitely the next step. So what we're gonna do is again come over to find it, and we're gonna clear this and put in sand. And we've got 2 sand options. They're so generous with us. I think sand surface 1 is gonna be fine. We're gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna try my best to be creative and freehand this, but basically here's what I'm thinking. This water's flowing out. It's maybe, you know, hitting the shoreline a little bit. It's maybe creating waves and lapping. It's coming out of here too. And so I think probably this side is gonna have more of the beach. This side is gonna be a little rockier up here. I'm also thinking that, you know, there might be wind coming off this mountain and blowing waves into the shoreline here. So, you know, that's my biggest attempt at realism. And we're gonna try and put the beach on the right side where it belongs, which is to say right here. Let's start somewhere like under this bridge. And basically this works exactly like the farm or industry zones. And I'm just going to kind of paint a rather, not too jagged, but hopefully a pretty sweet looking beach. And voila, we have a beach, and it looks funky because I'm selected on the thing, but if I escape, wow, that actually turned out. Yeah, look at that. Ooh, but we're not done yet, folks. I have many more detailing tricks up my sleeve. We want to kind of make sure we're doing something with these stark contrasts. Again, I know, I think it was Sully again had a pretty great video on how to overlay different textures. Although I don't see the textures, I don't think we have them at this point in time. I think we kind of lost our surfaces mod. I can't keep track of the mods anymore, there's just too many. And I'm just noticing I've got too many pockmarks here, so we're gonna smooth it out a bit. Okay, so we've got now trees on the beach, which I think is physically impossible. So we're taking them out, and we're gonna use our just regular old. Well, I guess it's not a regular. This is our tree controller mod, and we want the batch of trees, and we want to deselect snapping, so we're not only removing the alder. And I'm just gonna go down smaller. That should work, and right click. And you know what? We can go 100% because we like it strong. Just get these trees off the beach, and I'm gonna replace it with just some lighter. Oops, wrong button. Lighter and smaller bushes because I think there would be some scrub, and plus I want to ease up on this transition that is so obvious between the beach and the grass. So got a little technique for that. Again, I think from Sully, man, I'm really getting some mileage out of his videos there. And then we'll make it look absolutely stunning, which is what we do. So where do we start? Let's start with some boulders. And again, we're gonna go really mild. So let's do our boulder. And we're gonna find the random so that it's changing its shape every time. We do want the tool, which is the multiple. And I want anarchy on so these boulders can go into the water. I don't want a lot of them, so I'm going down. What do we want for size? And strength, we're going way down. I want to be very gentle with this. Don't want to go too hard with the boulders because that would really ruin the beach, wouldn't it? But we'll just, ooh, how's that? That might be a little too many. Odd. Let's go down a brush size. Let's see if that's, well, not that small. Let's see if we like that. It's still pretty strong. I'm kind of annoyed by that. What are you gonna do? Yeah, okay. It doesn't seem too excessive. I don't know what geological forces would have put boulders here, but hey, it's a prop and it looks cool and I like it. And now let's see about some bushes. We can come out of find it and go back into our regular tree controller. You know what, I think actually I have a, yeah, there's my bushes. Okay, I like these small ones. So I think we'll do maybe like a 25% brush. So we're again not going too crazy. And as far as the size, yeah, we'll spread them all over. Now anarchy off, because I do not want those bushes in the water, and with anarchy on, they would be going any which way. So let's come in here and bush this up. Bush up the beach. Yeah, looking good, looking good. Has the beach ever had so much love? I think not. But I think we still need a little bit of love here because it's too obvious that that's a decal and not a real place. So what can we do? Let's try coming in to the bushes again. And I think this little tiny guy is our best bet. We're gonna go singles. And I'm gonna break my hand here by doing it manually and just popping like clusters of bushes kind of where, and I think, what is this? It's winter, so these bushes are kind of dead model, which is fine. Let's see how this looks. Pepper them in and see if we can't hide some of that texture there. Do we like that? Well, it's maybe not as natural as you'd want, but hey, at least it's kind of hiding some of that. So we're just playing the game a little bit and doing our best at meshing things. That's a lot of bushes, but I don't know. I think I like it. It you know, kind of maybe, I don't know. There's some ecological reason for why these bushes are hanging out in the liminal space between the beach and the grass. Getting better and better, and hey, we can't forget our small rocks. That would be a major oversight. So let's look for a rock, and we'd want to do the randoms again. Uh-oh, what's going on here? There it is, rock random, perfect. How heavy do you want to go on these? Again, I think we're gonna start slow. We'll go down to 10%. Whoa, there's you go that low. And anarchy on, check. Because we want to go kind of wide with this. How's that? Yep, sure, adding a little bit. Adds a little something, doesn't it? Is it beautiful? I would say it's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. And one other thing. If I'm a homeowner paying how many millions of dollars to live up here, I'm probably not gonna want some trees in the way. We'll put some back, don't you worry, but we just don't want them right in front of the view if we can at all avoid it. So let's give these guys at least a little corridor of visibility. These guys are too far, forget you. It's not your property anyway, so you can't take out those trees, sorry. But all these other guys, oh yeah, they're going nuts. Chainsaws and everything. They want their view and they will have it. But don't worry, I promised you I'm putting trees back, so we shall. Now, best way to do this, I don't think I can use the brush. I'm gonna have to go individual, which pains my hand to thinking about it, but that's okay. We'll do it. Let's leave Anarchy on, it's fun. And let's do some spruces. Oh, I hear a helicopter. What's he doing? Is there a fire? No, it's a police helicopter or some medical maybe. I was panicking there for a second because I know this area is highly flammable and only the more so if I put more and more trees in it. So we'll cross our fingers. Very cool, I like it, and how do you like it? Let me know in the comments. I'm wondering if you think we did a good job on the beach or if you have some suggestions to make it even more fancy. And I do have something else I want to do. Let's come in here and use our find it again. And we're looking for invisible path. And it's going to be the pedestrian path that we want. Pedestrian path, there we go. And can I favorite that? I'm not sure what that will do, but we'll favorite it. And we're going to go with this squiggly tool. And let's make people walk on the beach. I think that would be fantastic. I really like that idea. So let's come up, and I've been told through the grapevine that you don't want to actually snap this to the road or it won't work. So we'll just come through here and gently meander our way through, and I might even give them a couple different routes because I think it would really make my heart happy to see people wandering around the beach and just aimlessly meandering. So we'll see if it actually works. I'm really curious to see what happens with this, so, but a little bit more I want to do, so I wonder. Is there a fence around this park? No, thankfully, that's good. Can we connect some paths down to the water? Probably, let's try it. Need anarchy on for this and snapping. And ooh, this should be pretty good. Will it work? Yes, it will. We might have to delete one of these trees from the middle of the path, although I did live in Mexico for a while and they were very fond of leaving trees in the middle of pathways and building the even parking lots around trees, and I definitely smashed a tree so hard backing up that I knocked all the lizards out of it, so that was a good time. Let's get in here with, again, find it, and I gotta escape out of whatever I had selected, and let's do the grass. I think we're grass surface, yeah, and then as soon as I have that selected I can, oh no, can I not pull that? Yes, I can pull it. Don't want to pull it out a bit? Yeah, let's pull it out. Let's continue with our invisible path. If we want to see anyone actually using this, we're gonna have to give them a bit more connectivity. So, hey, we can have them walk in up here. It's gonna make me very happy if it actually is used. Again, no idea if anyone's actually going to use this, but we're gonna find out. And you know, there's one other thing I found in Find It. It was called, so I found hang around area, park area, walking area. And I wonder if we can make a bit of a walking area. Will this snap to anything existing? Oh yeah, it looks like there is one in here, but that's okay. let's kind of just do this. I want to see if people will actually just hang around by the beach. Okay, cool. I don't know if that's gonna work at all or not. We'll see. But seems to me like walking area would be where people will walk. So maybe a hang around area. Can we overlap these things? Well, let's just play. Let's see. Oh no, we can't overlap. Okay, that's fine. When I was way up in the air, I saw a little opportunity. There's a kind of unused patch of ground here, and I think it could be a cool little food truck area behind this commercial area. Yeah, let's put something in here. And how are we gonna do this? We're gonna take our regular paths and just draw in some places to walk. Awesome, and let's find a food truck or two, or maybe it's called a stall. We don't have trucks, okay. Stall, yes, there we go. Let's do random and see what pops up. Good, now, tables, picnic tables. And we'll give them some shade. Yeah, not a bad little area. I like it. Okay, cool. That looks sick. All right, now since we're doing paths, I think this hill is going to be designated a bit of a park area by the city, so there's no building in there. I've already disallowed zoning basically since I didn't leave any road allowances for cross streets. Yeah, I think we might actually just put one road in. I just want to break up this this big giant zone a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm just marking where I don't want to go beyond this road, and I wasn't going to anyway, I promise. But let's draw a simple walking path around this hill. Cool little walking path. Wonder if anyone's actually gonna use that. What else can we get in here? I think we're gonna heavily forest this because if it's a park, right? So let's get in some more trees. Okay, cool, yeah. Looking like it's very, very flammable, so we'll see what happens, but we'll rely on our fire helicopter depot that's right next door, right? What else is this community going to need? It's going to need some mail service, which we're doing a terrible job of in this city, and I guess I'm kind of leaving it alone because I want there to be some kind of problems in our city rather than just being a perfect utopia that's totally boring. But let's at least give them a mailbox somewhere on the main street. And speaking of that main street, let's give them a bit of tree-lined street. I don't want to take away the parking on both sides, but we can take it away on one side. And now you get to park on one side of the street, my friends, and we'll get a little bit of civilized tree action on the other side. So we've done mail, we've got a little bit of service in this community, but we need internet, man. Nobody can live without internet in this day and age. So we'll put in, I think, makes most sense to do a radio mast. So I'm trying to cover the highway and the city, and I think this will do it. I don't want to forget these guys over there, but if I'm somewhere on this road, I think that might be the solution. So we'll plop that. I don't want to block myself from extending that road out. But if we put that here, yeah, I think we've got it. I think we've covered everything we want to. Good. Now people can drive on the highway and still check their phone while they're driving. Good. Safety first. Now I think the very last thing we want to do is give this a district. Crescent Terrace. Okay. What do you got for me, people out there? Do you have a comment that you want to drop and let me know what you want to call this? Super easy to get into one of my videos because I'm taking all suggestions. All right, let's see, what do we want to do with this particular district? Well, combustion engine ban, this one never makes sense to me. I don't think so. Energy consumption awareness, Yes. Gated community. I hate the idea of it, but what does it actually do? Only people living or working within the district are allowed in. Nah, we want people to be able to visit. Heavy traffic ban? Yes. Recycling? Always. Parking fee? No, it's a small town. Speed bumps? Yes, definitely. Okay, and how many people do we have living here? Not many so far, 134, and we have a potential for 196 employees. So we've done absolutely. It's amazing that those commercial buildings need more employees than all the people that live here combined. Curious. Okay. Anyway, it's fine. We'll say that some people commute to work and serve the tourists in here. But I think we're gonna leave it here. I like it. I might do some little bit more fussing and detailing off camera, but I appreciate you watching. If you did like the way that it turned out, please let me know in the comments. Drop a like for me, and if you could follow, it'll let you know when my next episodes come out. Really appreciate you taking the time with me today. It's so much fun for me to do this stuff, and it's nice knowing that you're watching me in the background. So thank you very much for being on this journey with me. Next episode, we're turning our sights, whatever the direction is, eastward, northward, and we're gonna fill up this whole swath with farms, and we're gonna be using a bit of Devmode to make it look really special. And I can tell you, I've played with this a little bit, and it is the most beautiful thing I've ever created. So looking forward to that video. If you like what we created today, please throw me a like again. And yeah, thanks for joining me on the journey. Have a great day, and we'll talk soon.